Hey everyone. Okay, so it's late May. I'm just going on a little forage, and Paul and I put in the minnow trap, so we're just going to go see what we have in the creek and what little bait fish we may potentially be able to collect for fishing later. But right now it's just about research and seeing what we have in there, so we're going to throw back everything that we find. But yeah, so let's see what we got in there and what we can find for edibles. This is what it looks like when the fiddleheads are all grown up. A little Amazon jungle. It's crazy to think that these giant ferns are just a tiny, tiny little round ball when they first come out. Look at that. Massive. Massive. Also gotta watch out for the stinging nettle. That'll get you. There's big patches of it. Like I said, these fiddleheads grow really, really tall. This is the end of May. We only have a couple more days left of May. And look at that. And this was the patch that was behind. So. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Bluegill.
Little sunfish.
Look at that guy.
Seed.
Little pumpkin seed. Cool. Awesome. What else did we get here? Let's see. The bugs are horrible. Oh. Looks like a little crayfish.
It is.
Oh yeah, look at that guy, a little craw.
It's like a little rusty craw.
Yeah, little rusty craw. There we go, rusty crayfish. We actually seen some bigger ones in here walking around. Oh, and one more. Yeah, those are babies. We've seen some monsters. Yeah, put them all back. Oh, look at the dryad. Look at that dryad.
Growing good.
Growing really nice. And we will now just kind of head back. We just wanted to see what was in the creek here, so we threw a trap in. But yeah, just kind of get out, about, see what's in this little creek. That's kind of neat to see the crayfish. We're going to come down here in the summertime, maybe in a couple weeks, and walk this river for the crayfish and clams, see what we can find, and have a little crawfish boil. It should be fun. See these cedars. Beautiful. It's like a cedar forest. And tower. So tall. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, that was our little hike to the minnow trap. Like I said, it is the end of May here. So that's what it looks like. Oh, false Solomon seal. See that there? That's false Solomon seal. Sorry, the bugs are horrible. But that right there grows little red berries at the tip. And when they are ripe, and they're all red, you can pick them and eat them. And the black caps coming nicely. Give them another month. Yeah, I'd say about another month. Look at all of that strawberry. So much. You can see right there. There is also false strawberry in here, but this is the real deal wild strawberry. Beautiful, eh? Again, just like with the May apples, you are in direct competition with the critters out here, and they love strawberry. And trust me, they get up a lot earlier, and they'll get to it before you. Okay, so as you can see here, we have some Pheasant Back, and this guy here, Dryad Saddle Pheasant Back is its name. It's also a wild edible. Now, you can tell with the Pheasant Back is clearly, it's kind of distinguishable on its own. It has its own little thing, but then when we pop it off, so you can see underneath the Pheasant Back is porous. So those aren't gills, that's pores. And you can see that there. That's how you know you have a pheasant back. It's almost got these little like cone-like holes in them. Like it's almost like a honeycomb. So not gills. You're looking for this kind of patterning, like a pore patterning. And it has the pheasant back look to it. So as you can tell, kind of pheasant patterning. That's why they call it pheasant back. So dryad saddle, pheasant back, either way, it's edible. You're looking for that kind of backing, no gills. You want it to be kind of porous, like a honeycomb. See there? Now with this guy, it'll be a little bit leathery at this stage. You see the smaller ones underneath? That'll be good to pick. But at this stage, it's a little leathery. What you're gonna do now is just take them. I would just take a paper towel and clean off the dirty spots of it, and you can slice it up and pan fry it just like you would a morel mushroom or something. And it's actually a great additive to add with your steak or something. Slice it up, pan fry it. Use cast iron. I'm a big advocate for cast iron. I find it cooks everything properly, even, and it gets the best flavor for what you're cooking. Yeah, so slice it up. Add garlic, onion. You can add some butter, salt, pepper, season it however you like, and then eat it as is. You want to pan fry it probably for about 15 minutes, just to get a lot of that excess moisture out. You'll kind of see the moisture go in the pan, and then just keep frying it till all that moisture is gone. It's a nice little dish. So, pheasant back. This guy here will pop up late spring, early summer, and just keep going all throughout summer, and you'll see it pop back up fresh again in fall. So, pheasant back. There you go. Another great wild edible mushroom. Now again, when it comes to mushrooms, I actually stress more so than I do with wild plants, do not harvest any mushrooms or anything unless you know 100% what you're dealing with. Because mushrooms, you can kill yourself really easily. But that's pheasant back, that is an edible mushroom. Well, look at the hemlock tips. You can see the hemlocks are starting to bud out now too. See, those are the buds on the new hemlock. See that right there. So I showed earlier a hemlock and it had little cones on it. That's what the cones turn into. There's a little new growth. And again, hemlock's poison. Don't drink, don't eat, don't do anything with hemlock. Hemlock's poison. I don't care what anybody tells you. Do not drink anything hemlock. It's better just to stay away from it. Okay, not an edible, but an interesting plant, Lily of the Valley. It's got to be one of my favorite smelling plants. Look at this. It's so beautiful. This is probably the prettiest plant. I like this one. It smells so nice. Little teacup kind of flowers. Just very quaint and elegant. A beautiful flower. Huge, broad leaves. An amazing smell. Lily of the Valley. It's good to know all of the plants, even if they're not edible. It's just nice to know what you're looking at. So yeah, the lilacs are blooming now. It reminds me of an old phenology of the lilacs bloom, the morels will pop. And the phenology is just the symbiosis between nature and different events that'll happen at the same time. Just so happens that the lilacs bloom around the same time that the morels start to pop up, which is normally around Mother's Day, but this year it was much later. Yeah, I like those kind of things, the histories and the kind of mythologies behind the wilderness and foraging. Look at this guy here. Gooseberry. They look like little beach balls. You can see they got little lines on them. They're really cute, going from the stem all the way down to the bottom end. And gooseberry will be ready. It's kind of like currant, but it'll be ready in about a month and a half. Those little balls will all go red, and then you can pick them. Make gooseberry pie, make tarts, anything like that. And gooseberry is very tart. Reminds me kind of like a rhubarb. So kind of weird that a plant would know how to spread its seed throughout an area. Like, take the gooseberry for example here. It creates the berry so that animals or birds, whatever, will come and eat the berry, and then in the end they'll go off, do whatever they do, and through their droppings they will have actually transferred the seed of this plant, possibly, where it will pick up in a different region, a different area, and grow out there and begin the process all over again. So, something that's mindless, has no brain, has no anything, knows how to reproduce itself through the regions. Really makes you think about plants differently. Okay, so we're looking around and we have some asparagus. Now, wild asparagus. Again, everything's behind, so normally this would all be up by now. You see that there? Some asparagus, so I'm just going to take it and break it at the base. And there we are. Let's see if we have some more. Another one! You guys can see it. We had a lot of rain yesterday, so I was hoping these guys would be popping up. Look at that one. It's tall. See, there's my... Alright, let's pick this guy. I'm gonna go down to the base. Freaking huge. Come on, there's gotta be more. There's gotta be some more. So another example of what I was talking about with the seeds and things carrying would be asparagus too. They have little red fruits that if you let them grow will fall off and they'll disperse all over the ground, and then make more asparagus that spreads out into a larger area. When the asparagus seed actually does drop, it takes about 3 years to start actually getting a real harvest of asparagus. To actually get a crop like this, you should just let it go so it keeps growing. So when your shoots come up, you want to pick them because it's actually going to make your asparagus patch spread out farther and make them thinner like this. If you don't pick any asparagus and you just let it grow, some people let them grow for 5 years until they're fully matured. So if you just let your asparagus grow until it's fully matured, it will get really thick and woody, kind of like the stalks I showed you in the last video, where these ones here, you see they're nice and tall. They look like the asparagus you buy in the store. It's because they've been picked. So when you pick them, they spread out, they become thinner, more edible, and kind of just works with you. It's almost, oh, there's another one. Look, it's tiny, but there it is. I almost didn't see that one, but yeah, there. So it's just funny how plants work. They'll work with you. You pick them, you forage them, they actually prefer that. And in the end, you'll get more asparagus. Just to show you there's more to plants than the eye sees, and that you should take the time to learn their patterns and their habits and how they reproduce and reseed, because it's actually very fascinating and make you just want to learn as much as you can. I know this lifestyle is, you'll be forever learning, but it's fascinating, and you want to gain as much knowledge as you can and fill that knowledge bank, and fill it with useful things like how to forage, how to build, how to start fires, how to live off the land, how to survive in the wilderness, how to homestead, how to grow your own food, how to raise your own food. It's all important when it comes to being free and living off the land. Everyone has its merit, and everyone has its value. So I wouldn't knock any of it, but when you really dive into the foraging, you really dive into plants and the symbiosis between nature and animals and fish and everything, it just makes you appreciate it that much more. It makes you think. Okay, yeah, checking around for some morel. Can you guys spot it? Look at this, a yellow morel. I'm a little shocked. Again, just like the black morels, did not think I was going to find yellow morels. I was even looking for them a little earlier. And I didn't spot any, but look at this guy right here. Now this is a yellow morel. This is the morel that when I was talking about earlier, when the lilacs bloom, the yellow morels come out. Well, there's the yellow morel. See, the phenologies are true. I'm gonna take a look a little bit more around here, but that's awesome. I can't believe I just found this yellow morel. Super neat. And again, you know these guys are true morels when they're hollow all the way through. The false morel looks very brainy, kind of flat to the ground, so you can kind of tell when it's a false morel, but this guy here is the real deal. Look at that. There's definitely going to be some more around here. Well, you can't guarantee it, but keep your eyes open because you never know. Look at that. Yellow morels. Okay, so you're normally supposed to cut these, but right now I'm just going to pinch. When you do the pinch method, you're just going to go to the base and pinch it, okay? And you see here how it is hollow. Sorry, let me show you. You see here how it's hollow all the way through. If I was to cut this in half, so if I was to cut this mushroom in half, it would be hollow. And you can tell right in there. See, you can kind of see all the way through. Yellow morels. It's a little bit of a nutty taste to it. Pan fry up with olive oil, salt, butter. And it's a delicacy. Have it with a steak. So good. These are actually one of my favorite mushrooms. I'm so happy we found these. So yellow morel. Look around. So it's kind of funny, and probably why you shouldn't use your foot to check the leaves, but every so often I like to use my stick and my foot to kind of brush on the leaves so I can find morels, and as I used my foot to kick these leaves, a morel came flying out. So, look at that guy. Nice, eh? Worked out, so I'm happy. And we got another morel. That's 5 so far that I found. I guess I'll just keep trying find them here. It came in this pile of leaves, see? I was just doing that and it kicked it out. Yeah, so it came from here. I was just doing that and it kicked it out. So, see what else we can find. So that is a wild edible. Only the berries though. I wouldn't eat anything else, just the berries. Yeah. It's such a beautiful plant. Very distinguishable. Look at this spruce. The beautiful spruce. Gorgeous needles. That's all the new growth. See? All the nice young new shoots. Beautiful, eh? Beautiful spruce. And again, you can have it as tea, and apparently you can make a honey from it. Or wild medicine right at your fingertips. Look at how beautiful that is. It's nice, thick fingerling needles. Look at that. There's horseweed. So I'm going to pick this at this stage because this is when I like to pick horseweed. I like to make a tea. A little Chinese home remedy, an old Chinese remedy for colds and flus. If you haven't watched my last video, I explain a little bit more about horsetail, so you can refer back to that video. Tons of it down here. See? Lots and lots of horsetail. Collect a few more. Remember, practice responsible harvesting. Don't pick anything you're not aware of. Do your research, and only pick a few of it. And if you can avoid it, don't pick any bulbs or roots. Look at this. Phragmites here. It's crazy how fast Phragmites grows. It's actually an invasive plant. There was nothing here not that long ago, and look at this. They grow super tall. They grow really thick all throughout the summer. So thick that even deer can't push their way through it. It's a big problem we have here in Ontario, Phragmites. But it grows fast and I get a lot of it here. Dandelion is still up, the leaf, which is still good for salads. And we also have some plantain. Look at all the plantain. You can harvest this plant and eat it just like spinach. Boil it up, have it with some butter, salt, pepper, or some olive oil, salt, pepper. And it's great. Yep. So plantain. You have it just like your spinach. You can even have it in a salad if you like. It's up to you. Oh, there's strawberry mixed in. Okay, so you guys see this plant right here? It's young, I know it's a little hard to tell, but pretty soon this guy will grow up and have almost like an orange, there's sometimes yellow, sometimes red, but more yellow and orange dragon snap kind of flower. But this plant is called jewelweed, and this one here is more of a medicine. Now, if you know you come in direct contact with poison ivy by accident and you need a quick remedy, you take jewelweed. Normally grows side by side. It's almost like nature knows your remedies. You need your antidotes beside the poisons. But you take this and you chew it up, or you just mush it in your fingers, but you want to get it into a paste, and you put it directly on the infected area and just let it set and let it dry. Now, if you've already had it on you for a couple days, you can then use this kind of like a relief, an itch relief, and you can use it almost like a pain reliever, and it takes down the inflammation. Again, make it into a little paste, use your mortar and pestle, just break it up and put it on the infected area and let dry. And then wash off with soap and water. Now at that stage, it won't really help take out the poisons as much as it would if you were to put it on right after you get infected. I know it's kind of hard sometimes to tell if you have poison ivy on you before you get the blisters, but sometimes you're aware and you know, and if you see jewelweed, grab some jewelweed and put it on. Another thing would obviously be calamine, but jewelweed is your natural remedy for poison ivy. There's another one right there, jewelweed. Oh, and some wood sorrels here too. Now wood sorrel, it looks like clover, but you can tell by the heart-shaped leaf here. And it also has a bright yellow flower. And you can use this wild edible as a seasoning for your fish. It has a nice kind of lemony taste. I used to just kind of chew it when you're on the trails hiking too, because it's just something you can pop in your mouth like mint. And just kind of take away those little hunger cravings and stuff like that when you're walking and when you're hiking or you're in the backcountry. But yeah, so there's wood sorrel. Grows everywhere. And it tastes good. Tastes like lemon. More jewelweed. You see woodpecker holes in there? Woody woodpecker at his way. If you can see that. Yeah, right there. A little woody woodpecker hole. Remember I told you about the woodpeckers? That's what I'm talking about. They go crazy at these cedars. Look at that poor thing. It said woody woodpecker. He had some fun. Oh, that's an old black cherry. See that there? That's an old black cherry. Let's take a look. We might find something. I don't see anything. An old trillium. It's actually kind of pretty. I'll show you guys. Trillium. There's white ones and the burgundy ones like that. Now, trilliums are actually legal to pick. It is our provincial flower. So, you're not allowed to pick trilliums. It's actually illegal, funny enough. That's alright.